What is up, everyone? It is the final AEW Dynamite pay-per-view. I was about to say PLE. I might have
Don't
to
say that.
start using PLE, though. I don't
Mm-mm.
know, Reg.
I mean, at the end of that, yeah, you might be right. Did we watch a PLE? What the fuck?
What's up, everyone? It's Denise Salcedo. It's Righteous Reg. It's Saturday, December 28th, and we just watched AEW Worlds End. And I think this one's going to be a fun one because, wow, the ending of the show kind of left us a little bit. And I think we were just having very, very different reactions. I was laughing from how hilarious all of this is. And Reg, I think you might be writing an angry letter or something because I don't think you very much liked the way we closed off the show. So this is going to be an interesting one because depending on how you look at this, you may be all in on what we saw at the closing of World's End, or you may be hella pissed. I don't know what you are. I guess it depends on how everyone feels. So let's get to it. We're going to kick things off with the main event of World's End, which was, of course, Jon Moxley defending the AEW Championship against Orange Cassidy, Adam Page, and Jay White. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Reg. There was one thing that really bummed me out in this match, and it wasn't even the Adam Copeland stuff. No, I was happy to see Adam Copeland back. Good for him. They pinned Jay White, man. Pinned Jay White like that. I'm sorry. I did not think Jay White should have been the one to take the pin in this match
At all.
I felt like they made him just the match itself. First of all, it was fine. It was whatever. It definitely did not stack up against a lot of the other matches that we saw throughout the night. I would rank this one somewhere. I don't know, somewhere. It's not at the top though. We definitely got way more better matches in the night, especially the previous match that went before that, which we'll talk about in a minute, which was Will Ospreay and Okada in the finals of the Continental Classic 2. That was phenomenal. But this match, it was more so like a brawl. I think they spent a lot of time kind of finding it into the crowd. Then we came in back into the ring, and that's basically where we got the finish. We got Marina Shafir involved here. Jay White hit the switchblade on her and all of that, but it wasn't enough. Jon Moxley and his Death Rider guys helping him out to get Jay White get pinned, and Jon Moxley retains the championship, which we already knew. I think everybody here knew that, even though a lot of people had hopes that Hangman would win. I think we knew that Jon Moxley was getting the win. But after this, FTR comes out. And then, so I'm looking at this and I'm going, all right, FTR's out here. Cool, we like FTR, but where is this going, right? And then the lights go down and we get rated FTR, and Adam Copeland makes his return. Happy to see him back, man. Was there when he got injured. It was a brutal sight, that jump off the steel cage. Unfortunately, just an awful sight. But Adam Copeland goes out there and, joins up with FTR to attack on the Death Riders. And my friends, it looks like we're seeing Adam Copeland versus Jon Moxley, AEW Revolution. That's what it's looking like. And Reg, you look so depressed, bro. How are you feeling about this?
I didn't like nothing you said here. Like none of that. I wasn't like, oh yeah, like none of these parts I was like in. I'm out. This show ended with Jon Moxley, who like hasn't been letting the world on fire at all. They've been rehashing the same fucking ending for like the last 6 weeks. Fake ass NWO shit. This was filled with bunch of bloodline type bullshit. I was just waiting for Yuta to come down with the hoodie on. Bits. After the show we just seen and some of the best wrestlers, we're the best wrestlers, and this is what you're giving me. And you're telling me that you want an almost 60-year-old, however old Adam Copeland is now the new challenger for this young company that we're supposed to be building with Kyle Fletcher and Daniel Garcia and Will Ospreay and Mercedes Moné and all these incredibly talented people. But instead, we're getting WWE people that are rehashing old WWE bits. Christian Cage has to do with it. Like, there's nothing about this that's redeeming. There's nothing about this that's this young, up-and-coming, revolutionary, hardcore company. This is not what this is. That's not the vibes that I'm giving. This is AEW. I got the vibes in this show. Some of the best young wrestlers in the world going toe for toe, bar for bar. But then at the end of that, you don't do any of that and you're giving me this WWE bullshit. I didn't come here for this. If I wanted to watch fucking Roman Reigns shit, I would turn on the other show, you guys. You're an alternative to that. We've been seeing bloodline shit on every show. They end every show with that. Why are you doing it on your show too? What gives me the incentive to want to tune into your show when the biggest fucking company in the world is doing it already? You have to do something different. If it's the same, there's no reason for me to stick around. And you're doing it the same and not as well. There's a reason why Roman Reigns' shit worked, because Roman built and established this for 4 fucking years. People are up to this standard. This isn't that. You can't just force this onto people. There has to be a reason why people care. You're giving us zero reason to care, and you're turning it into hatred. What the fuck is this, Denise? I'm very upset. After that great show, Mercedes and Stat destroyed it. They killed it. Okada and Ospreay, amazing. Kenny Omega came back. Ospreay had some of the best matches I've seen on this show, and then you give me this bullshit. Not fair.
Reg, I was just gonna let you go, man. Like, you got to get this out there. You got to get your feelings out there.
I'm upset about it, Denise, because I've been every week we'd come on this post show and I'd be like, you know what, John Moxley, this shit's not that bad. It's pretty good. He got this thing in a briefcase. They're beating people up.
You were on board, Reg, those first couple of weeks. I told you, get your ass off this boat. I
didn't know that this was what it was gonna be. I'm like, okay, this is a good start, but then they just keep doing the same thing and keep doing the same thing. I'm like, oh, you guys aren't doing anything else. This is the bit, and if this is the bit, I want off this boat. Get me off.
Reg is walking the plank right now. He's like, fuck this. I'm out. No, look, here's the thing. We got two very, it's weird because when you look at the show, with the way we ended Okada and Ospreay, that and Kenny Omega, God, that was incredible. That was the AEW show ending. I think that's what the hardcore AEW fans love. That I was thinking when Kenny Omega came out and he had that confrontation with Okada, I was thinking, oh my God, everyone was down in the dumps about AEW this year. I was thinking to myself, here we go. Like, this is it. We're going to steamroll right into 2025. We're going to get into All In, and we're never going to look back at this year. And AEW is going to sort of regain that momentum that, a lot of people felt that they lost this year. And so now we are in a situation where we kind of got two different endings. Like, we got the ending for the AEW fans, and then we got this ending, which I don't know. And of course, we're going to get into comments and see what you guys have to say about this. I don't know how everyone feels about this yet. I'm seeing a lot of people either for it, against it. It seems like everybody's kind of all over the place with how they feel about this. But man, this is just one of those things where you and I and the chat and the community, we've talked so much about who is going to be the next AEW World Champion. And we've talked about, Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, who are the names that we want to see as champions. And we've sort of been down on this Jon Moxley reign. And now that his opponent is going to be Adam Copeland, from the looks of it, it doesn't scream AEW. That's the thing. And here's the thing.
That's the biggest thing.
I know AEW is competing with WWE. We know that. But AEW was birthed out of being something different, being the alternative, right? That's the word that's always being thrown around. AEW is the alternative. And now we are seeing, like what you said, some similarities to like Jon Moxley trying to be like Roman Reigns, Jon Moxley trying to book these bloodline type of matches, but not doing it to the level of Roman Reigns and the bloodline. So of course you can't copycat that if you're not going to do it better than they are. And they're not doing it better than Roman and the bloodline. So unfortunately, like, you got to go and scratch those plans, redo something else, but it's not. But honestly, like, here's the thing. The Adam Copeland, Jon Moxley match isn't even the thing that I'm like most kind of, I'm like, whatever. Honestly, I'm whatever about it. I'm really hoping that by the time we get to All In, by the time we get there, that we are in a different picture for who the AEW World Champion might be. But it's just not a great start for the AEW World Championship picture. What really bummed me out, and you guys know because I want Jay White on top, Jay White, eat that pin. I'm sorry. I did not like that at all. This is a guy that we've been talking about how his booking in AEW has not been that great. And then unfortunately, he's the one who eats the pin here. And he was just starting to get hot again after that feud with Hangman Page.
Hated so much of it. Him and Hangman were the most intriguing part of the story coming up, them having this thing. And then like when it's happening, Denise is like, don't tell me this is not happening. And it's like, no, this is happening. They're about to fucking pin Jay White out here in this bullshit. He's entangled in this bullshit. When they've been telling the story with Orange Cassidy, you just beat Orange Cassidy last month. Why wouldn't you just do that again? You keep these other guys safe and everything's fine. But no, for some reason, Jay White was pinned. He was beat up in the ring. It was the beginning of where this all went downhill for me.
Yeah, so I mean, on top of that, look, I know we're kind of starting on a negative note here, but this was
they ended on one
show. On like, I know we always talk about like what the show ended with, because that's just the thing that we're left with at the end of the show. But we got some really great moments, some really incredible matches that I can't wait to kind of get into. But let's go ahead and get into some of these super chats that are being sent in, because I truly have no idea what the chat is feeling. I don't know if they're pro this Adam Copeland, John Moxley feud. I don't know how they felt yet about the ending. So let's get to it. I want to go ahead and kick things off, by the way, with a very kind super chat that we got from my Tuesday NXT co-host, Chinadu, who says, y'all are my favorite part of AEW. Much love from Texas. Thank you so much, Chin, for supporting Friday's show and this show as well. Thank you so much. We got T-Max034 here who says, how long is Christian's list in the bank good for? Have they said, is it a year, or am I just running off the WWE rules?
Yeah, I think it's a year from when he won it.
When did he win it?
At All In.
Oh, baby's got a long time with that. Yeah, it's going to be a minute here. But see, here's the thing. Like, we should have seen the writing on the wall. The second Christian got that contract, I think we should have seen the writing on the wall that Adam Copeland was going to get involved in this somehow, some way. So maybe Adam Copeland could maybe be sort of a blessing in disguise here, where he could be the one that ends up ruining Christian's opportunity in terms of him not successfully cashing in the briefcase. But I also don't think that Adam is going to defeat John Moxley. So we're probably going to have a longer John Moxley AEW World Championship reign than we previously thought. But Adam Copeland might serve us good, though, when it comes to kind of eliminating Christian Cage from this scenario here.
And if this match isn't until Revolution, which is March 9th, which means we're going to have 2 months of this building on TV and John Moxley still being world champion. It's just going to be January, Denise, barely. And this is March 9th we need to get to.
I didn't even think about that. In my brain, it was in February, because usually Revolution's in February, right?
No, it's a March show.
March? Shit. Are you sure? I feel like it's always in February.
No, it's happened. I remember one was like March 6th. It's always like the beginning of March.
All right. Clearly, I got my months messed up, but whatever. All right. So that's going to be a minute for sure. We got Sheldon Jackson here who says, I'm going to say it. Jay needs to go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Dude, this is what I don't get. Like, what happened? Usually when people come in with this hype and with all of this, hoorah behind them, Tony sees that and the booking shows it. And it hasn't been that way for Jay. And then the Hangman stuff was great. Why did Jay have to take the pin here?
I don't know. There has to be something, because there was that moment where Jay White came back and then he beat Hangman Page, and I was like, I don't even know if that was the thing, but it's like they wanted to reward Jay White for things like he got rewarded for working hard, but then this feels like this erases all that. I'm like, wait, you're right back to the square one. How are you going to build him up again to another position when you had them built up? It's very confusing, honestly.
Not only that, but Hangman Page. Hangman Page is also somebody who is getting crowd reactions. Hangman Page had one of the hottest feuds. Hangman Page has felt like brand new as this heel character. Where's the reward in that?
Where is it? What is it? What does he get out of this match? Where does he go next? Because people were so hyped into him in this match. Anytime he come out, he get the biggest reactions. Now he's just off to the wayside because Adam Copeland's taking his place. That's not good for morale. You know what I mean? Especially with the kind of with the energy that Adam Copeland came in with. He's like, I'm going to work with all these young people. I'm going to have this different thing. I'm going to be a new thing. This isn't new. This isn't different. This is the same. You're just rehashing things that you already know, working with people you're already familiar with. This is not what I want to see out of you. I want to see you take on the young people, the people that are AEW. You're just taking on another one of your coworkers from WWE.
You think this is a situation where people only want to work with people they like?
Yes, it's pro wrestling, and these freaks are all freaks. And like I said, the worst thing that ever happened in pro wrestling history, fucking Terry Bollea's fault. creative control. When you give everybody creative control, then they only want to work with their friends. They only want to put their friends over, and just not best for business. Best for business is working people with you don't like, working with people that aren't, everything isn't all peachy and good. This is not good, and I hope that eventually it stops. I hope that the writers up top, bookers up top are like, I don't give a fuck what you want to do. You do what I want to do, but that's rarely. It's not probably not gonna happen. I'm very upset, you guys. I'm sorry. I know you don't want to start the show with this, but like, I was having such a good time, and then they did this, and it's like, why would you do this?
You were vibing. You were learning Spanish.
Learning
you were
Spanish, doing my thing, talking about my little shorts I'm gonna wear in Texas, and then they were just like
planning your cute little summer trip to Texas.
Planning my cute little summer outfit, my crop top, my little shorts, and look at this shit.
What is it? Isn't it usually, if it's hot girl summer, is it hot boy summer?
No, you got to use something else.
Well, what else can you use? What's wrong with hot boy summer? Hot man summer?
Because that's already the girls thing. Like, it has to be something else summer. Like,
all right. I don't know. We'll figure it out for you. All right. We got Grapple Geekery who says, well, that was both predictable and disappointing. All right. So far I'm getting a feel for how people are feeling about this. We got Voodoo Child 1 who says Jay White taking the pin is whack. That man was main eventing Wrestle Kingdom 2 years ago. Yes. Isn't that insane? He had like one of the biggest glow ups too. I remember we were talking about like how when Jay White started getting really popular, it was like, yes, we had seen it in Jay White, and then he got popular, and then, you know, he earned the respect that he did. He got himself for the work that he did in New Japan is what got him in AEW.
Right. It seems like they were going to capitalize all that. And it seems like there keeps being like this. We're going to push Jay White, but then stuff like this happens, and I don't know what's going to happen off the backs of this. It's very worrying because you got a guy that is great on the mic, great in the ring. He could be a heel, he could be a baby face. Like, he could fill any role that he needs to be put into. I just don't really understand it.
We got Chinadu Ogu who says Reg's reaction is hilarious.
I know.
At least your misery is making some people happy.
Damn it. I wanted to end this on a great note. Like, if we would have just ended with Okada and Kenny staring off, I would be doing jumping jacks right now on this show, having the best time. But they were like, nah, let's not do that.
Chris Byers says, this is how you grow an audience. Do you think that's how you grow an audience? Because in a way, you know, Adam Copeland is known. So is Jon Moxley for their WWE days. Do you think this is them trying to utilize those WWE names to get some people to go in there and be like, oh, WB guys, I know Edge, I know Christian, I know
the casual fans that care about that, they'll be like, yes, but then they're just gonna go watch WWE. They're not gonna stick around for AEW. If they do come for anything, they'll only come for when they're on TV. It just their casualness doesn't work for wrestling as a whole because they only want their things. But most importantly, they're gonna see that it's AEW when it's not giving it up like that on any other match, and they're gonna leave. If only the main event is giving it up, that's not enough to keep those type of people.
We got Grapple Geekery who says that was unpredictable and still disappointing. Mike T90K says, y'all drop lit for this damn banger of a pay-per-view. Yeah, and I feel bad that we have to start on this, notes, but we got Charles Raycard here who says, I would rather see Chris Jericho than this. Oh my God.
Listen, not for nothing, but Chris Jericho's last 5 or 6 matches are way better than Jon Moxley's last 5 or 6 matches. That's just a fact.
PLG says Copeland, the first to feud with both bloodlines.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yo, you're going to take me out with that.
That's really good.
Infamous Twitter Loco says, in other news, my best podcasters end of the year awards comes out, and in a landslide, it's Kelly Connection. Shout out to you guys. Much love and respects. Thanks for the great 2024. Thank you so much, Infamous Raider Loco, for the support. We do
deserve awards, though, Denise, before we move forward. We are the best.
I don't know. After this show, everyone's going to be mad at us. They were mad at us last year, World's End. Now we're going to get in trouble again. We're just going to get in trouble nonstop. Saeed Don Super says, dude, I'm tired of FTR. Speaking as an old fart, I'm tired of those old farts. Real fun show before the main events, though.
And it's really funny because on Grapsity earlier, I was like, we need FTR back. They need to come take hold of this tag division. But this is not what I was talking about.
Dude, you're always talking about how great FTR is. And you're like, oh, yeah, I do like FTR. And you don't even believe me when I said I love FTR. You never believe it. You never believe it.
But if this was what they were going to do, brother. I want you guys in the tag division. I don't want you guys in this trying to rehash what you had with CM Punk type deal with everybody else.
We got Ten Ruza here who says, clip this and send it to Will Washington. Guys,
He ain't the
How do I
one.
say this? Yeah, I was gonna say he ain't the one. You know,
He doesn't need to see this.
There is multiple writers back there, guys. It's not just Tony Khan and Will Washington, even though that's what the internet will have you believe.
The internet really thinks it's just those fools. There's so many fools helping.
Bro, if it was just Tony Khan and Will Washington, we'd probably be getting Righteous Reg in a match right now.
That's a fact. I'm saying. But something along those, like some along those lines.
We get Brian Keefe have more singles matches so they can play your damn song, Reg.
If it was just Will and Tony, like Brian Danielson was still, they'd be like, nah, Brian, you get back in there, dude. We need you.
We got John Taylor here who says, on this day, I see a bunch of old ex-WWE wrestlers closing out an AEW pay-per-view that had Ospreay, Fletcher, Takeshita, Hobbs, and Kenny. It felt like two different shows, honestly.
That's what I'm saying.
And I meant just the main event versus the rest of the show.
Yeah, and I don't know, like that could be an intentional, Denise. Like they could be like, this is how we want to do, but I don't think that's not how you bring in.
Tony Khan tends to be very respectful of people that of legends. He's very respectful of legends.
Yeah.
Maybe this is Tony Khan's way of trying to use up these people before their time is up.
Yeah. I'm not even mad at Adam Copeland being in AEW, but you shouldn't be getting world title shots. You're fucking WWE champ. Dude, you've been at WrestleMania. You don't need to be in these positions anymore. You did it. You've earned it. You're the man. You got 2 fucking Hall of Fame rings and shit. You don't need to be out here doing this over some young people that we need to think about in the future. Like, you don't need one more moment. You have a million of them, dude. You got a legendary resume of the greatest shit I've ever seen. We don't need to be continuing that. I still want to see you in here against all these people that John Taylor mentioned, not against fucking John Moxley.
Sheldon Jackson says, calling it now, rated FTR next AEW Worlds Trios champions. They'll defeat the Death Riders for those titles. Yeah, probably. Probably. Cool. Double S here says, Reg be like, I miss going to Jamba Juice for this.
Come on, my juicy juice.
Arnold Nicholson Jr. says, boo Adam Copeland. He doesn't have it anymore. Oh, feel bad. But it's in this predicament. Putting him in the spot is going to open him up to this type of criticism.
That's it. I'm going to bring it back that Ricky Starks promo. Be like, look, listen to this, bro.
Ricky Starks. Where's Ricky Starks?
Ricky Starks?
I'd love to see Ricky Starks and John Moxley.
There's all these young people that are ready to go for the next 20 years. We're going to be watching them. And they're like, nah, fuck that. Let's get Edge out here. Money in the bank.
Matt Logan says, Reg, we need a pay-per-view intro. Oh, yeah, because we've been using the Wednesday one. Yeah. Right. We got T-Mac here who says 6.9 out of 10 stars. All right, not too bad.
That's pretty generous still.
Yeah, Travis Lindsay says, nothing says AEW like the Revival and Edge.
I'm saying, Travis, do you hear, exactly when you say it out, you're like, what? That didn't even make sense.
But I don't think of FTR as the Revival anymore, honestly. Like, in my mind, they're not the Revival. They were never the Revival in my mind.
But Edge is still Edge, you know what I mean? Like, you could call him Adam Copeland all you want. That's still fucking Edge.
Travis Lindsay also says, after final battle and tonight, TK cannot Anosh? What is that word? Anosh?
Not rush, maybe? I don't know what he's trying to say.
Okay, I thought it was like slang for something.
Travis.
Anoosh.
After final battle on tonight, TK cannot Anoosh. Man, that fool cannot Anoosh.
We got Matt Logan here who says, I would take Okada Ospreay as world champion. I don't see Copeland winning the title. Oh, of course not. Of course not. And I 100% would see Okada and Ospreay as world champion. I mean, that's where I thought we were going.
But it's just going to be an issue like we got tonight with the main event, Denise. Nobody's going to believe that Adam Copeland's going to win. So why?
We don't even know where Will Ospreay is going next after this.
No, we don't. No.
We really don't. We got Tracy WV88 who says, so Darby, Cassidy, Hangman, Jay White couldn't beat the Death Riders, but rated FTR can. What? And I love WWE and this doesn't make sense. Beyond annoyed.
Come on.
I feel you, man. Yeah, that's what it is, right? I don't even know what to say.
It's all good. It's all good.
Chinadu says Edge and Moxley look like the tough guy dads at high school football games that get kicked out for fighting.
Edge comes in with this leather jacket. Oh, I'm tough. Look, I rode in on a motorcycle. Definitely not having him in like Price. It's like, dog.
Your father's brother's nephew, cousin's former roommate says Nas said it best in one of his songs. No ideas original. There's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. Do better, AEW. I hate that this is like where we're at right now. Like, we're literally have to get into Kenny Omega. And like, that's the second thing that we're going to talk about on this show. Who would have fucking thought? We had a Kenny Omega Okada stare down. And here we are talking about Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley. Like, this is wild.
You can't leave that taste in our mouth. You gave us great content, and then to end it like that is so unfortunate.
We got Shanika here who says, y'all are spitting about that ending by Ascended as soon as I heard Battle Cry. So that's pretty much where the show ended for me. That's why I said at the top of this, there was 2 different endings. You know how like when movies make those alternative endings? This is what that was. It was pick your ending. Pick the ending that you wanted. I think my ending was definitely the one with Okada and Ospreay. Okada and Kenny stare down. And that was my ending, honestly.
No, I see you, Shanika. I hear what you did. We should have just turned it off right after Kenny was done. We should have been, oh, great show, have a high five, and then everything. But no, we didn't. We needed more. I needed to see how this ended. I was wondering who else was going to show up, and who showed up wasn't that great.
We got Margie Love here who says, hi, Kelly Connection. Reg, you called it earlier on Grapsity. What the hell did you say, Reg?
I said, because someone is like, can you see Adam Copeland come back? I'm like, if he does, he's going to fucking be against Jon Moxley. Because where else would he be?
So let's blame you for this. All right, great. We know who to blame now. Thank you, Margie. We got Arnold Nicholson Jr. who says Copeland versus Moxley at Grand Slam Australia. I would prefer for it to be at Grand Slam Australia, but I think it's happening at Revolution, given that they closed out with the last final graphic being Revolution.
Right. They try to like tell us like how they did with Omega and Okada. Like it's kind of one of those things.
Right. We got Nicholas here who says Jay White needs to go to TNA and have a monster push. Oh my God, we've gotten to that point.
That's crazy. There's a fine line. I'm not crossing that one. That's why.
Dude, that's just insane. Maybe Jay White and Will Ospreay. Let's go there. Yeah, no.
There's a bunch of places that Jay White can exist in. Like that's a good feud. Like you can get him in with Fletcher. Like there's a bunch of ways that he can go, but are they going to do it? And I think they should, and they need to execute.
We got Caleb Cassidy here who says Kenny's return had me on cloud 9. Now 6 feet under. Oh, how sad. You literally went from the cloud straight down.
All the way up to all the way down.
Yo, that's wild. Caleb, I'm so sorry. We got Ernie Phoenix here who says, get Tony Khan's number to Reg. He's got 4 words for TK.
Suck it, Tony Khan.
Brandon Rosens. You're going to get a call for that, Reg.
It was a bit. No, he said like 2 words for you. Don't try to put that on me. Like 2 words, suck it, you know?
You're done. You're out of here, Reg.
Dude, listen to me.
If you guys show up to Wednesday's show and I have a new co-host, y'all
I'm
gonna
the new AEW hype man, Tony. Listen to me.
That was your AEW hype man job. We were literally trying to get you hired as AEW's hype man.
They fucked it up. They're like, let's see how he handles this. And I'm just like, AEW, stop it.
What if you were the hype man during this when it happened and you were like,
I'm like, I'm supposed to hype this shit? I don't know, dude.
All right, we got Brandon Rosen here who says the Death Rider storyline is dying fast. What is it that the Death Riders want? What's the master plan that they keep talking in riddles about? I don't know, but everyone thinks Shane McMahon is still a part of this.
Like,
I vote on that. Who started the rumor about Shane McMahon, and why did it get so much leg?
I feel you, Brandon. It's even more confusing when like, oh, bring Edge to defend AEW, but what does he represent? Why would he be the one to hold the flag for AEW? That didn't even make sense. He's a fucking WWE lifetimer. I'm confused. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know what the riddles are about, but they're there and they're happening. I don't know what to say, Brandon. Thank you so much. We got Hassan Batla here who says Edge will lose it. Might be a good match, though, and can drive the story. I do want them getting the trios there. They're dead with the Death Riders. Yeah, because we keep forgetting the Death Riders even have them because we don't see the trios championships either, just like we don't see the AEW World Championship.
They didn't even bring it out to be like, this belt is on the line. That's how much of a hold they have in these championships. They got to change that.
Thank you, Hassan. We got Ernie Phoenix 23 who says BTW, give Reg the booking, let him cook.
I don't want somebody on a podcast yelling at me like that righteous Reg is such an idiot.
Me? I'm gonna be
Yeah.
hosting the show. Be like, I always knew Righteous Reg was up to no good.
They should have never let him book anything. Denise
He's
just
got all his
guaranteed.
stupid little ideas in his beanie.
Yep, right up there. They come out. Drop one out.
Thunder Rosa says, I know it's more than TK and Will, but damn, gotta get Reg's thoughts seen by TK and others in there. TK got too many ex-WWE backstage, maybe love you. I mean, look, that is possible.
Really,
you got to understand there's going to be a lot of people that are in TK's ear. That's going to happen. It's
not even a lot of WWE guys though. Like it's like the wrestler specifically. You know what I mean? It's creative control. That's all it is.
Right. I don't know, man, but
they got a lot of like ROH guys, a lot of TNA guys. It's not even really like a big WWE backstage thing. It's just how it is. I don't know.
Look, the way that I see it is like post what you think online, right? On like Twitter or something, whatever, because they're gonna see that. Like that's what they're gonna see. They're more likely to see that than anything else.
They really do. It's instant market research is what I was telling somebody. I'm like, they know, like they just did this show and Denise and I are giving them a whole bunch of data. Like everybody online is like, here's how we feel about this show that just happened. And you can't get that in many other businesses and fields. You know what I mean? Like instant feedback on what you did is like, that's how it happens now.
We got Travis Lindsay here who says TK cannot finish. Whoops. Okay, that's what it was.
What he's saying.
All right. No wonder. I was like, Unash? What is Unash?
What is Unash? TK can't Unash. That's great.
Jerome Walker says, the ending is about getting a ratings boost for the simulcast on Wednesday. Not that serious after an incredible
no, Jerome, I'm sorry. I can't follow along. It's not about that. That's not what this was. This is beyond that. It is very serious. When I'm a goddamn huge gigantic AEW fan, and if you leave a bad taste in my mouth, it's hard to leave a bad taste in my mouth. That's not a good sign. It's not.
I feel you. All right, we got do we think that this will be a ratings boost for the simulcast on Wednesday?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll
they're going to get higher rate because it's more homes.
We're excited,
but it's not because of what happened at the end of the show.
Right. All right, we got Moe Best here who says this all better lead to Darby winning the world title. Dude, we've been hoping for it. That's what we thought at the end of Wrestle Dream. We really thought that was the direction we were going in. I mean, Darby Allin ran over Moxley with the car, or tried to.
Everybody's like, today we're going through Darby Allin. They're like, don't forget about him climbing that mountain. I'm like, I keep forgetting about him climbing that damn
April,
mountain.
bro. He's gonna be gone for 3 months. April. We got Johnny Big Man here who says, I was there for Wrestle Dream. I like the Mox story and how it started, but Mox is a good wrestler. Why this bloodline run-ins? Like, I like crowning Darby most likely at the end, but why this way? Yeah, I mean, like, I'm curious to see what that all-in match is going to be for the AEW World Championship, because at this point, it feels like it could be all over the place. Like, I know we're going to get, Okada and Kenny Omega based off of what we saw today, which we'll get to in a minute. But for the AEW World Championship picture, though, it's really up in the air. I'm starting to wonder. I thought originally it was going to be Darby in there against who? I don't know. I don't know if Jon Moxley's still going to be the champion by then. He might be champion by then. The only reason I thought it'd be Darby was because of what Sting said during that event, where he kind of had said that he saw Darby Allin becoming AEW World Champion and he thought that it could happen at All In.
Yeah, I think that all roads look like they're gonna eventually lead to Darby getting it there. But I mean, there's still Hangman Page looming. Like we said, there's still Ospreay looming. I think there's a few ways that they could go. I don't know if they're like, we got this plan for however many months and we're gonna stick to it, or if they hear things and they pivot or what happens. But it's gonna be interesting the lead up to that show, because we're all gonna be wanting something different than what I think is in their brain of what they want.
We got an infamous Rare Loco who says, Will hyping the show for this shit. I trusted him.
The show was great besides that damn ending, you guys.
And we'll get to the good stuff. Marcus M says TK tries to please everyone, sickos and casuals.
Yeah, that's what's kind of the issue with running a company. I guess it's not an issue, but that's the thing with running a major company. Like, you have to appease me. You have to appease Denise. You have to appease all these different types of people, and it's hard.
Infamous Raider Loco says, match was the best. Rated FTR, kick off the scrum. All right, good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Travis Lindsay here says, first Ospreay Okada match, how did it compare? All right, so let's get to that finally, guys. So let's talk about the Continental Classic here, because this is where the rest of the show was very, very good, guys. We got so much good stuff here. Continental Classic, we kicked off the night with a bloody bout, bloody, gritty, gruesome competitive match with Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, as we all know, are former friends turned enemies. And this was great, man. I actually thought that Will Ospreay, Kyle Fletcher, this match may have been better than the first match that we saw. I'm a little torn, of course, recency bias, but because I did love Will Ospreay and Kyle the first time we saw them on AEW, but this, we don't often see Will Ospreay bleed the way that Will Ospreay was bleeding.
Yeah, I think maybe why it could be recency bias, but why I'm picking this third match over the rest, because the Continental Classic added a sense of urgency, and both guys from the first bell were just like going for it, like trying to out counter this guy, going 100 miles per hour. Fletcher was working like he wanted to kill Ospreay. That's why he was bleeding very early in the match. Ospreay, I think, adding that extra element of, we've never seen him bleed. Like you said, we've seen so many matches this year that are incredible, but there's no blood. There's nothing crazy added onto him. Him adding that, having to bring out something different from his heart, having to become a complete, like a different wrestler. There's blood in his eyes. He's fighting from behind. This was an added extra element. We already knew that Ospreay was going to have these incredible things, but for him to be bleeding through all of it made it extra, extra insane. Kyle Fletcher, a lot of people thought he could win the whole tournament, but he fought this match like he had everything to lose and everything to gain. Like, this was incredible way to start the night with Ospreay getting the win, but Kyle Fletcher, off of this tournament looking like one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Dude, just absolutely tremendous. I mean,
So
seeing
good.
them work together. Kyle Fletcher, like you said, a lot of people were thinking that he did have a chance. I didn't think so because, again, I think from the very beginning, the writing was on the wall that it was going to be Okada and Ospreay. But truth be told, though, the fact that a lot of people really thought Kyle Fletcher was going to win is a testament to the work that he's done in this feud. Like, he's really blossomed into this, a single star with a lot of, future potential there, man.
Right.
So I'm excited to see what we get from Kyle Fletcher here moving forward, as well as, we were just talking about what's next for Will Ospreay, because, he did not, win the Continental Classic. So what's next for him? He's definitely someone we want to see in that AEW World Championship picture. Hopefully we get there sooner rather than later. But the other match that we did see was Okada versus Ricochet. This one was interesting because I think Ricochet was really trying to he was working, dude. Like, he was trying his hardest to make this match a thing. It didn't necessarily hit as much as you might have thought Okada and Ricochet was going to hit. And to me, it kind of feels like Okada really wasn't all in on this match. And I think part of it was because he was like, all right, I'm going to go all in the next match. Like, that's the match that I'm going to go all in. And that was just kind of how I felt when I was watching Okada and Ricochet.
I mean, I think it tells a good story for what happened after the match and how Swerve was kind of shit talking Ricochet. Them adding this extra element of Ricochet is now being pelted with toilet paper in random places. But him last week, or the last promo on Dynamite, being like, I'm going to win this tournament like you never could, Swerve. And it looks like the way that he was working 1,000 miles per hour. Like, Okada wasn't 100% it, but Ricochet didn't give a shit. He's like, look, I'm in this match. I'm gonna do everything that I can. After about 10 minutes, he had did like 1,000 moves. I'm like, oh, Ricochet's not fucking around. But Okada was into that. I got a match later in the night, so let's get through this one. I'm gonna hit you with some shit, and we're gonna get out of here. I think it wasn't the greatest match you've ever seen, but it told a good story for what was gonna happen in the rest of the night.
So then the Continental Classic finals, we got Will Ospreay versus Okada, the match we were looking forward to. And Reg, damn, this was fun, especially the last couple of minutes. They just sped up and we were seeing these counters, these reversals. I mean, it was so freaking entertaining just to watch them work. And I think for the most part, even when the finish actually came, I was so disappointed. I was like, no, I didn't want this match to end. I wanted to keep going at least a couple more minutes because we were really enjoying ourselves. And this was the match that the crowd peaked at. They were losing their shit over this matchup here because to me, this was the match that people went to the show for. Even though we didn't know for certain that we were going to get this match, we all had a pretty good feeling that it was going to happen. And that was the match that really got people going. This is why I paid my money to watch this pay-per-view. This is why I paid my money to come to this show, was for Okada and Ospreay, and just seeing them work together. that to me was, peak AEW stuff. Like that's what we want to see from AEW. And then here's where we finally get Kenny Omega. He returns. He looks like $1,000,000 with his suit on, looking freaking great. And he just goes in there and has this confrontation with Okada. And you're just watching this and you're going, we're back in business, man. Like this is it right here. Like we should be smooth sailing here, at least. Maybe we jinxed it a little bit.
That might be it.
Yeah, no, but seriously, this was the stuff that was the peak, the best moment of the show for sure. And then them teasing that this match is going to happen at All In because they had the All In banner in the back when watching these two guys stare down. How'd you feel about it, Reg?
This was the vibes. This is AEW. This is what since the inception of this company, this match has kind of been in the back, kind of looming like that's a possibility. We don't really know Okada. He might be in New Japan forever. But then when they were like, oh yeah, Okada's not going to be in New Japan forever. He might go to AEW. Everybody's immediately thinking, oh damn, we're going to see Kenny Omega and Okada on American soil, some amazing AEW match. Okada comes and Kenny's out. We don't know what the fuck. Like, is Kenny Omega ever going to come out? There's all these rumors and things. He might not be back. He's having these issues. Finally here. It's finally happened after this is Okada. When they signed Okada, there's a lot of people that don't know Okada. They never seen New Japan. They don't care about what he did before them. They're like, he's in AEW. Why do we care about him? This is why. When he's in matches like this, in situations like this, they keep saying he's the greatest tournament wrestler ever for this. When he locked in this match and he was Okada and he was hitting these drop kicks out of nowhere and he was dominating Ospreay and leading him around the match, putting him in difficult positions, hitting him with DDTs, just really applying the pressure to Will Ospreay. This is why this guy earns the big bucks. This is why he's had that championship. And this is why we want this Kenny Omega match so bad, because I think that's what Okada has an issue being an American wrestler, American TV wrestler, because if you know any of Okada's best matches, like after 35 minutes is when this guy becomes good. Like he needs 35 minutes and then he's like, all right, now we're getting to this match.
That's just a warm up. Yeah.
That's just how he's built. He's just a built different main event New Japan wrestler. Like I need 30 minutes to get into this match. And so it made sense tonight that like you have one match for the warm up and then you get to the real match. Cause when he got to Ospreay, it's like, all right, I'm in this. I'm the guy that you all know. I'm gonna hit amazing drop kicks. I'm gonna hit amazing rainmakers. But the ending sequence of this, of like Okada being like, you guys think I'm this like slow and plodding fool, but I could go just as fast as Ospreay. I could be in different positions. I could catch him off guard. And that's what ended up happening with the rainmaker at the end. But yeah, this was all everybody on our shows this week, our show yesterday, Grapsity today, everybody's like, oh yeah, we're just waiting for Kenny Omega to confront Okada. That's pretty much what this show is all about. We're all waiting for this one moment. They slow walked the dog after they brought out Chris Daniels, and we're like, what's what Chris Daniels doing here? He's like,
I was wondering, I was like, is Christopher Daniels going to announce his retirement? Like, why would he be doing it now? This doesn't make any sense. What is happening? I was so confused. Yeah.
Why is Chris Daniels here? Like, we're waiting for Kenny Omega, and then he's, oh, actually, I'm here to introduce Kenny Omega. Okay, it's fine. And Kenny Omega comes out to a huge pop, the confrontation. This was everything that I love, everything that I wanted. I'm like, this is AEW. This feels like when we watched Darby and Ospreay from a few weeks ago, that energy, this is what it was again.
Yes, those exactly two things. I think like the Darby Ospreay match, the Hammerstein shows that we got, and then this moment that we got here, like this is what
this is AEW.
I think, this is the foundation of what we want to see, and this is what we've been waiting for. Obviously, we had to wait for Okada to get with AEW. We had to wait for Will Ospreay to get to AEW. We had to wait for Kenny Omega, who was out due to diverticulitis. Like there's just a lot that was happening, and now we're in a place where all of these pieces are finally moving. So to me, it's something that I can't, I can't wait to see how this culminates. We do got a couple of super chats though, that I want to get into. And this is from Tenruza here, who says, I need TK to take a week off and sit by a pool and write and create. Dude needs some time. Get it together, TK. Get back to doing your ace booking.
TK is not Tony
Khan. Tenruza, thank you for the super chat.
Not blame Tony Khan. I just want to keep saying that it's not Tony Khan's fault. I mean, I guess because he's the end, but plays a lot to get to him. I just want to say
I don't know, man.
He didn't write this himself.
I don't know what to say. Because there's a lot of good stuff. It's just some other stuff needs fine tuning.
Right.
Your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate says that Tijuana Street fight was lit AF. Loved the chaos. Let's talk about that because that was a match that I thought, by the way, is may go a little underrated for tonight. And it was a moment that'll probably go a little underrated. But dude, they came out there and they worked. Both Thunder Rosa and Mariah May. I loved it. The second that Thunder Rosa came out with a piñata, I was instantly like, that piñata, it's gonna have thumbtacks, it's gonna get violent. And Thunder Rosa took a big ass bump into those thumbtacks, and she had like an exposed back for her gear, so she 100% took all of those thumbtacks like straight into the skin. And then her dad was there at ringside, so Mariah May, took her kiss cane away. She was mocking him. I was afraid she was gonna slap him the way that she did her mom, right? Mm-hmm. But afterwards, Thunder goes out there and she gets that cane and she starts whipping Mariah May. And as much as Thunder Rosa tried, eventually she did lose her Tijuana Street fight, which I did feel bummed about because I'm like, damn, that should have been her fight right there. But it wasn't an epic moment when a table spot that looked absolutely sick with Mariah getting the win. And Mariah May is AEW Women's World Champion. I feel like they've needed to give her a little bit more. She's been kind of reduced to just a bunch of vignettes and a bunch of behind the scenes promos, like things like that. I would love for her to do more in-ring stuff. The last big thing that she did was the match at Winter is Coming with Mina Shirakawa, which was great, but it took a minute to get there. And then after that, it just kind of feels like finally we got into this match with Thunder Rosa, which was great. But before that, it just took a second too long to get to the Mina Shirakawa match.
Yeah, there was that little lull period where it felt like she was kind of spinning her wheels and just kind of existing. But now I think they've gotten to the point after the Mina match, just letting her get back into the ring where they're starting to understand what Mariah represents as a champion. This match was great because these women, like we're talking about on the show, were working so hard. Like from rip, they were like, okay, we have this match on the show. We get weapons and things. We can kind of move around the arena. We're going to go out there and have some fun. They were beating the crap out of each other. Most of Thunder Rosa's and Mariah matches are like that, of like, oh yes, these two women are really fighting. They're really striking. They're really hitting each other with these weapons. They're really trying to put each other through these tables and things. Thunder Rosa, like we talked about this week on the DWO cast too. A lot of people are looking forward to this. So excited to have Thunder Rosa featured again on pay-per-view. And this is why, like, she just brings a different kind of excitement, different kind of energy, having her dad involved, adding the little bit of drama, that her doing the running up the table to hit the drop kick, the ending with that snap style pile driver through the table. I thought all of it was like totally different than the other women's match that we had in the card, totally different than all the other matches on the card. Showed that Mariah can be in any type of feud and any type of match. And when Thunder Rosa is put into this position, she's going to excel.
So let's get into that other women's match that we got to see too. And that was, of course, part 2 of Mercedes Moné versus Kris Statlander. And it took a second, but once they got really going here, dude, they kicked it into a high gear match. In fact, wow. So I'm looking at this right now. Hold on a second. Let me refresh really quickly. It looks like this was the longest match of the night. Like, this got the most time out of everything that we saw, because Okada and Ospreay went 19 minutes. Mercedes and Kris Statlander went 24 minutes.
Wow.
That got even somewhat close to that was Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher at 16 minutes. But no, they gave a lot of time to Mercedes and Kris Statlander. And dude, they went for it, man. They freaking went for it. And you had mentioned something during the watch along where you had said that now that Mercedes and Kris Statlander, like, they've worked together before, now going at it again, dude, you knew they were going to try to do some new stuff. And it was very incredible performance, to the point where they got like for me, it was finally when we got that Konosuke Takeshita Powerhouse Hobbs match that started to like reawaken this crowd. But Mercedes and Kris Statlander, they got the crowd's attention. Like, they really, really fought for that, and they got it.
Yeah, I knew coming into this that, like I said, both of these women are rematch type wrestlers. Like, if they always have great first time matches just because the way that they work. But when they learn that opponent and learn all the intricacies and where they should move the match along, that's when they really get kicked into gear. And that's what this match felt like. The first match was incredible, awesome. They came in never really touching, never really knowing each other. This time they know each other. They know what makes people tick. Now they know where they need to be in great positions. Statlander came out like she's the strongest woman in the world, looking confident, looking great. Mercedes is like, no one can beat me no matter what. And you combine Stat's power with Mercedes bumping and her just being evasive and getting out of the way, you get a match like this. Statlander gets into this power competition. She's throwing Mercedes all around. She's looking like you can't beat her. And then Mercedes hits a fucking sit out pile driver on the apron. And you're like,
That
oh,
was
yeah,
insane.
this
I'd
is it.
never seen her do that before. Like, I'd never seen that. I couldn't believe she pulled that out. And I love that, right? Because that's what you want to see. You want to see like these new skill sets for Mercedes, like see those different types of matches that she could have in AEW and like what we've been seeing in New Japan Pro Wrestling and all of that.
Yep, especially if you're telling the story of they've already had a match, Denise, and Mercedes barely escaped in that first match. So she knew coming into this one, well, I got to do some different stuff. I might be have to do stuff that I'd never seen before. And yeah, like you said, Mercedes doesn't. This isn't a Mercedes spot. She's never done anything like this on the apron of all the, like, this is just like, seems like the opposite of what her character would do. But like you've been saying, you've been wanting her to become this AEW style Mercedes. You've been wanting her to kind of get away from that WWE persona, and you got to do stuff like that. She's added so many things to her arsenal that are like, I'm different. I could compete with the best in the world. I could be the best. I could have the #1 match on any show, no matter who's in it. And that's what this felt like. It felt like Mercedes, like, I'm the most confident wrestler in the world. There's nobody in AEW that's better or badder than me. I'll take on Static in and have another amazing match. There won't be this will be clean match. I'll beat her at the end of the match. It'll just feel like I earned this. And also Kris Statlander earned this position. This felt so good. I knew coming in that they were going to have a fucking fire ass match, but it was even better than my expectations.
Also happy that we got to see Kris Statlander get that standing ovation too. Like she
Well
deserved
deserved.
that because we knew she wasn't going to defeat Mercedes. You know, Mercedes is just, she's Mercedes. She's your TBS champion. She's going to continue that going for a while. You know, she's the second that Mercedes drops a TBS championship, we know it's because she's going into that AEW Women's World Championship picture, and that's when that's going to happen. So, Mercedes, Kris Statlander getting that, round of applause was really great to see. But we got Margie Loves here who says, I legit got emotional when Kenny came back. So thankful he's okay. Terrifying stuff, guys, with diverticulitis. Obviously,
Crazy.
we don't know the details too much of, a lot of the medical stuff. Clearly Kenny is going to keep, private and whatnot. But just based off the other stories that we've heard from diverticulitis, where, you get so much of your, like, I don't even know, like, shit gets taken out of your freaking stomach. It's terrifying. Like, you could die from that. And so the fact that not only did he, come out healthy and stuff, but it took him a while to recover and get back into in-ring shape where he can come back and do this. I think someone in our chat mentioned that it had been 18 months and we'd seen Kenny Omega active in the ring, because obviously he did come out and he got the, he was beaten up by the he was beaten up and whatnot. So we did get to see that whole bit. I don't even remember when that was. When was that?
It's been some months. It's been a while.
Yeah, it was a minute. It was a minute there, but we did see him, but obviously not wrestling. So two totally different things. But Margie, also very happy to see Kenny Omega back. We got Tenruza here who says, forgive me, Reg, just frustrated. I just want better.
I feel you. You heard me go off, Tenruza.
We got
it's frustrating.
We got Margie Loves who also says, anyone still talking shit about Mercedes can sit all the way down now for real.
Don't be trying to. I told you about Mercedes from the beginning, you guys. This is the greatest American female wrestler of all time. And she keeps showing y'all. They keep putting her back against the wall and she keeps knocking it out the park because she's the best.
Thank you so much, Margie. All right. And let's see. We only got a few more matches to get into. Let's go ahead and get into Konosuke Takeshita and Powerhouse Hobbs. This was another one that really, this was the match right here, Reg. This is where things turned around. People were into the first match. Kind of took a little bit of a moment to get them into back into the show. They got back into the show with Takeshita and Hobbs. And I was so happy to see that because I feel like it adds to Takeshita's reign as international champion, and it adds to Powerhouse Hobbs because Powerhouse Hobbs has been he's been at a pretty high peak on AEW, right? He was TNT champion. That was great. Unfortunately, some things just didn't hit and it didn't end up working out. Then he kind of got the opportunity once again going out there, wrestling, having these matches, but then unfortunately got injured. And so he's taken out once again. So he's got a great look. We like him in the ring. He had an awesome match with Miro. And now it's just a matter of like, finding where he belongs on this roster, where his spot is on this show, because people that are destined to be your main eventers, and there's people that are kind of on the precipice of getting to that main event spot. Where is Powerhouse Hobbs in all of this? And is there, where can we go from here with the story? I know for him, it was a win just to be on this PLE in a championship match, pay-per-view in a championship match. It's just, but yeah, where does he go now?
I think that this was a good test for him. He's had a couple of these big tests and big moments and big matches like this. And I think he's at a great position with the crowd. Like the crowd, they have connected this meat thing to him. So anytime he gets into like a slugfest and the meat thing, that always brings every crowd into it. We were talking before this match about this crowd, Denise, and we're like, I don't know, they're not that great. They're sitting on their hands for points. Tony Schiavone was like, oh, they're doing this because they don't like MJF. And I was like, I don't think that's the reason, man. This crowd just wasn't that interested until they got to this match. Like Takeshita's had so many great matches this year. He has an incredible resume. But Hobbs has this thing when he has a big crowd like this and he's in the moment, something about, I don't know, his heart is tenacity. Since the first moment I've saw it, he's had this thing where the crowd just connects to him in some way. They feel for him. He just has this connection that can't be explained. Don't matter what kind of character you try to make, don't matter what you do with him. There's always this connection. And it came out tonight. They started the meat chants. There was a point where it started out a little bit slow, and I was like, I don't know. And then they teased or they faked me out with the knee injury. I'm like, oh, he might be hurt.
Yeah.
But from that moment on, I got worked. From that moment on, though, is when it turned up. Like he starts selling this leg, but he's still doing these power moves. He reversed like a discus lariat into a power slam at one point. Insane second rope power slam. Like all these incredibly quick, like you wouldn't see a guy like him do these spots. He had a spine buster that really got the crowd into it. Like he has a connection that can turn crowds, and you saw it here on display. Takeshita's incredible too, with just his strikes, his suplexes, his facials, the way that he knows to be in all the great positions at a time. Like this match was really fun. When they announced it, I was like, oh, that's interesting. I'm happy for my guy. But this is another exceeded expectations type match from what it produced, from bringing that crowd back to being asleep to being really hyped and helping with the rest of the show.
Yeah, I love that Takeshi's like earning his stripes as champion. And I feel like Hobbs, like if I was Tony Khan, I'd be like, Hobbs, I'm going to do something a little bit more with you. Like, I'm going to keep you right here in my back pocket and see what we go from here, Powerhouse Hobbs. All right, let's see what we got here. We got 10 Russo who says, oh, I already read that one. I'm sorry. And, oh, I did read that. Never mind. I'm all cut up. Sorry, everybody. My bad. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the last and final topic of the day. And that is MJF and Adam Cole. MJF defeating Adam Cole for the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring. Reg, you were like, oh yeah, Adam Cole definitely has to get the win here, or else he's going to be a big old goof. And I'm sitting there going, absolutely not, bro. MJF has to win this, considering that MJF's just a far more interesting persona on the show.
But MJF don't need no wins, though. He's always winning. If he would have lost here, it would have been so fine. He still has that ring after 6 years. It can't only be his. Just name it the MJF ring at this point.
Well, then do it.
The biggest issue, Denise, is when I say he's going to be a dork and you're like, yeah, and then they make him a dork. Why are they making him a dork?
I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. It's just not the right move right now to have Adam Cole defeat MJF. But they gave Adam Cole a happy moment, though, afterwards when all his friends came out and they reunited and everything's okay with that. So that's the bright side of all of this. And they gave him, a moment back. But this was MJF's to win, Reg. I'm sorry, but you can't sacrifice MJF right now to Adam Cole.
The same question I asked on the stream. Can Adam Cole ever be cool, Denise? Like, can he come back from this is my real question.
Yes, of course. I don't see why not. He just has to go out there and bring back the old Adam Cole. He has to go out there and wrestle. That's it. It's so simple. You just go out there, you wrestle, you put on great matches, and we'll start to get the love back, and people are very forgiving. People will be like, what? I like
People
them.
are very
I
forgiving.
like
You're
them.
right.
Exactly. So I just think it's that simple. That's all you got to do with Adam Cole. And hopefully it goes somewhere and start to see him feud with someone that isn't MJF.
Most importantly, like if we get him in a different situation, doing some different bits, we'll start to feel that way about Adam Cole. He's just so attached to MJF that people are going to be turned off until they get him away from each other.
That's 100% true. And so, and as for MJF, I don't know what's next for MJF. That's another question mark too. There's a lot of people that we're still not really sure like what their direction is going to be.
I was gonna say Jay White, but I'm like, oh no, don't do that. Don't do that.
I wish it was Jay White. Are you kidding me? I'd love to see Jay White and MJF.
Yeah, remember what happened last time? We were at
that's why I want to see them refix that shit. Okay. That was so depressing. Like they literally had him lose to a guy with what was it, no legs or no arms? I forgot what the whole bit was.
No legs. His leg was broken or something.
Yes, and I feel so bad though because that feud just did not. That was Jay White's first big feud in AEW, and it didn't go the way that we thought we would. So if they redid it, I would hope that they did it properly.
They got to put him over MJF, and I don't know if they'll do that.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now with the way Jay White got pinned and the way that things are going right now with MJF, you're probably right. It's probably give it like 2 or 3 years, and we can recircle back MJF and Jay White.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see what they end up doing there. But there you guys go. That was AEW Worlds End. Wow. Definitely a lot to talk about here with this show. We have a super chat, by the way, from Antonio Yacht here, who says, so regarding the main event for Wednesday has to do more with the Fight for the Fallen event, Asheville, which was FTR's idea, than it does with bumping a rating for Max, according to the media scrum. Oh, that's good to know. That's always, very nice for the Asheville show as well. So I'm happy to hear that.
It makes sense because like the last 3 or 4 weeks, every time FTR has been on TV, they're like, Fight for the Fallen. Don't forget about Fight for the Fallen. We'll be at Fight for the Fallen. So that does make a lot of sense.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Antonio, for the generous super chat and for also letting us know what was happening in that press conference. And I think that's it, man. We did it. Oh, wait, hold on. We got your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate who says that MJF Dynamite ring is a pointless. Just send it to the scrapyard for scrap metal. I agree.
It made more sense when they were like, it got stolen. Like that was the most interesting bit about it when it got fake stolen.
Yeah. Nobody cares. Like if you tell me to name every single, I would probably forget to name the Dynamite Diamond ring. Like I would completely forget about it.
Like it's not a prestigious championship over here.
No. We got Infamous Raider Loco who says, damn, first time I hear a WWE question for TK Scrum. I have no idea what's going on over there. I'm not there. I don't do the scrums anymore. I'm out. I'm out of the business.
Afterwards. Yeah, for
I'm retired.
Mm-hmm.
Infamous Raider Loco, thank you so much for the super chat, man.
Thank you.
So yeah, I don't know. I wonder what the question was for TK about that, but he's been asked about WWE a bunch of times. And I know this. I've sat through years of freaking press conferences. I can tell you what people are gonna say before they even say them.
Every time.
He's been asked about WWE several times, so, and he's gotten a lot better at answering those types of questions because usually when people ask certain questions like that, they're kind of expecting for TK to go off because they want TK to go off.
They want the content, but usually he's like, he'll dodge it or good around it. It's not the answer they're expecting or they want.
Yeah. And that's that had to happen, right? Like you need to learn how to play political in these types of roles. You have to learn how to address certain questions.
Right.
Alrighty, everyone. Now that is it for our show. Thank you so much to everyone who hung out with us for over 4 hours, nearly 5 hours that we've been here on the stream, doing the watch along, doing the post show. Thank you guys so much as always. This is definitely, this is our last AEW related show of 2024.
Whoa, crazy. It's been a crazy year.
I know. I can't believe it. But we're going into 2025 red hot. January 1st, Reg and I will be here, of course, talking about the first ever simulcast show with AEW streaming on Max. That's going to be huge. And then, of course, it's also a big week for WWE with Raw and Netflix. There's just a lot happening here on the show. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a live stream, live WWE 2024 trivia game. I'm going to put the stream out today, hopefully. So keep an eye out for that. I haven't decided what time yet. It's either going to be 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, depending on how I feel and how much sleep I think I need. But we'll figure it out, and that'll be happening tomorrow here on the channel. Thank you so much to everybody. We do got another super chat. This is from your father, his brother's nephew. It says, "Don't worry, Reg, I got another CCO joke coming soon."
I know. Look, I know you never fail me. I know it's there. It's sitting there.
Love it. Thank you so much. Alrighty, everyone. Have an awesome New Year's. I will be back here tomorrow streaming. I'll be back here for Raw Watch Along, and then the Raw Watch Along will be the last one of the year for me. Alrighty, everyone. See you guys later. Bye.
Peace.